Did she manage you this week?
You should get.
You're going to start, am I just going to announce that we're has not officially started. Before our meeting officially starts, we are going to be swearing in two board members into role of board director after this most recent election. We have Director Ralph Carhart, who is returning, and we have myself, Raymond James Irwin, who is also returning, and Director Mounts, if you'll start it with Director Carhart, and we'll swear him in.
Are we, well, I guess it's just online, so
Yeah.
there's no like Bible or there's the right hand.
I'll dig up a Bible if I need to.
There is
Can
no.
you hear me?
Yes.
That's like,
Very good.
okay. So I should say affirm rather than swear.
Whatever it says there.
Okay. Ralph, you ready?
I'm ready.
Raise your right hand, please.
Got it.
All right. This is for the office of Fair Oaks Recreation and Parks District Board Director. Please repeat after me.
I, Ralph Carhart,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California,
to the Constitution of the United States and to the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation of purpose of evasion,
that I take this, repeat that again, that I take this
obligation freely
freely and without reservation or, I'm sorry, repeat the last part, without reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, raise your right hand. It's for the office of Fair Oaks Recreation and Park District Board Director. Please repeat after me.
I, Raymond James Irwin,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and
to
allegiance
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California,
to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation
of purpose of evasion,
of purpose of evasion,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
Okay.
Wonderful. Well, with that, I will call this meeting to order, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. If everybody will stand with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Flag of the United States of America.
to the republic for which it stands,
and
nation,
one
for God, indivisible, with liberty.
liberty and justice for all.
You, Director Carter. If we could please have roll call.
Yes, Chair Irwin.
Here.
Vice Chair Mouse.
Here.
Director Carhart.
Here,
Director O'Farrell.
Here.
Director Tamani. Here. All present.
Wonderful. Okay. And then I guess we have a presentation.
Here, if we could, Chairman, Reverend James. Reverend James, if you would come up here, that would be great if you'd be willing to come here. So we have a presentation here for you. Chairman Irwin was the chair this last year for Fair Oaks Recreation and Park District, and I just want to show my appreciation for him from the operational side of this. And for all the things he has done. He's ran a very smooth and professional meeting for this last year in an area of time that we've had challenges. You got us into this facility here. You made this year very professional for us in it. You've also done some amazing things during that time. The bond ad hoc committee, and that's through the design of a $21 million project. And representing the board with Director Carhart, these two and Director or Chairman Irwin did amazing jobs and really helped us out and really represented the board well through the design process. We're going to see the fruits of that labor here in another year. We're seeing some of it now, but we'll see the real fruits of it later. Also, he was president and very professional during the campaign, and so I appreciate that very much as we came out through that campaign. Throughout his time, he served the residents and served them well, kept their interest in mind, and kept the board's interest in mind, and kept the staff interest in mind. So with that, I want to thank you very much for your service. And with that, we have a little token of appreciation here for you and for your year of service. Thank you.
I don't know if I can or should, but I do just want to say to everybody in Fair Oaks, to our team here, administration, and to my fellow board members, it's really been a privilege to serve, learn from you, work with you, and to just truly make our residents, our community stronger, better, and a great place to be. Thanks. Oh. I don't think they take the plaque off. Okay, well, wonderful. Now we will move to public comment from the audience. Anything that is not on our agenda tonight, this is the time for the community to come and speak. There is a 3-minute time limit, so if anybody, both online or in person, has anything to address the board to discuss, now would be the time. Anybody online? Ian? No. Jennifer, I don't think anybody in person, so we'll close public comment and we'll move on to the approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
motion to approve the agenda.
Second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Consent calendar. Do I have a motion to approve the consent
I'll make
calendar?
a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Moved. Do I?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Wonderful. Motion passes. Let's move on to 9.1, FOIAB board report.
Hello everyone, I'm Navia and I'm the current chair of FOIAB. We recently had our December meeting, which was last Tuesday. And at the meeting, we made hygiene bags, which we give to the food bank. And we also made handmade cards for senior living homes. We also had a pretty cool costume contest. We also volunteered at the Fair Oaks tree lighting event. We really enjoyed that one. We're there every year. We had a booth where we had a game. We had these like fake snowballs and we threw them at cans. And also, towards the end of the year, we have finally resumed our service groups. So we have 3 service groups: Parks Cleanups, the Food Bank, and the Grange. Parks Cleanups has a date set, I think, in the next couple of weeks where they're going to go to Fair Oaks Park and just clean up around. The food bank has made multiple dates, or has set dates for the new year where they can go and volunteer. And the Grange has continued our monthly every second Sunday breakfast where we go. We have members who make food, we have members who go and clean around and serve. And it's super fun. And yeah, so that's all the updates I have. Are there any questions?
Great,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Excellent. Then we'll move on to 9.2, discussion possible action regarding selection of board chair and vice chair for 2023. I see there's no formal board report. This is our time to decide on 2023's chair and vice chair. Traditionally, our board has done a rotation between chair and vice chair. And so if we continue the trend for 23, Director Mounts would be the chair. And then the vice chair, who would that be?
Director Carhart.
Director Carhart, okay.
I would like to nominate Director Mounts as chair and Director Carhart as vice chair for 2023.
I will second that. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Excellent. And then next, we will move on to 9.3, discussion possible action regarding the annual board directors meeting calendar and committee assignments. So we do have, again, no board report. We have the calendar up there. Is there any dates that any directors have any issues with for the calendar?
Not as of right now.
Okay, good. And we still have everything at 6 o'clock, correct?
We're going to be here in this location all year.
We're still waiting for an answer from the water district on that. It does require one of their staff to be here at the meeting, and they're looking into that, the impact of their operations. So I'll try again and get an answer here in the next week or so.
If we don't meet here, what is the alternative?
Well, we think, we don't have permission yet, but we think we can go back to Meraki if we had to. If you have another location, maybe the new chair has an idea or anybody else has an idea, we'll definitely investigate that if the water district is not working.
Yeah. Well, I was, that was one thing that I did work towards, was working with Tom to get this space. My goal is also work with our staff to try to get this as our next space next year, but we'll definitely have a space.
Yeah, we'll be somewhere, yeah.
We will be somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. With committee assignments, I think everybody so far has been on the same committee, just swapped chair or vice chair. Does anybody have any desire to be on any other committees? Change committees, yeah. So we have Director Tamani, Director Mounts on Finance and Budget. We have Director Mounts, Director Tamani on Capital Improvements and Construction. We have Director Carhart and O'Farrell on Management and Personnel. We have Director O'Farrell and myself on Community Resource. We have myself and Director Carhart on Policy Review.
I'm fine with where I am unless somebody wants to poach one of the committees that I'm on.
I would like to move to Management and Personnel as well as Finance and Budget. My feeling, if we do want to move, who's ever currently the vice chair now becomes chair, and if anybody's moving into that new committee, they take vice chair, if that works for everybody. Or if somebody doesn't want to be the chair, if there's movement, then discuss that. Okay, so then for Finance and Budget, then Director, or who wants, out of the two of you, who would like to stay on Finance and Budget? Who would most want to move from
I
Policy
wouldn't mind
Review?
moving with you to management personnel,
Okay,
if that makes things shift a little bit easier.
so you and
So
me.
currently I'm on management and personnel. I would give up my seat there for either community resources or capital, but I'm flexible for anything.
That would be fine because I'm wanting to move from Community Resources. So if you please give Director Carhart my spot on Community Resources and put Director Mounts and myself on Management Personnel. Is that what you said, Darren? Yeah. And then Director O'Farrell, do you then,
Go to finance, right?
well, I want to go to finance.
Okay.
Director Tamani's though on finance.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
we would move
whatever
first.
is open, I'm happy to go there.
Okay.
So for finance and budget, it would be Director Irwin, Director Tamani, or Director Irwin, Director Mounts.
Well, I wanted to move into management and personnel, so.
Does anybody-
If Director Irwin wants to move to management or finance and budget, I think that's, you two would be a great team.
I think policy and review would be good for you to be on, because especially if you're doing management personnel, I think that would be a good.
I'm fine
For
with
how
that.
to.
I like to, yeah. I've been in the same place for a while, so it's good to learn different aspects of everything.
So then we'll put Director Mounts on policy and review. What my spot was.
Right, and then capital is currently Director Mounts and Director Tamani. Are we leaving that as is?
I'm fine with that.
Okay, perfect.
We will
And that would
just
put me-
swap who's ever.
That would put me on
I'm
3.
gonna put 2 on 3 though.
Does it?
So,
Yeah, because if
yes,
I
it
move to
does.
management personnel and policy review.
Oh, yeah.
So Director O'Farrell then is the only one that doesn't have 2 assignments. John and I.
So what is left?
Capital.
That's fine. I've done it all.
Yeah,
I've done it all. I've done it all.
Sounds
Better
frustrating.
county, so.
If somebody wants to leave capital, right now, I think I'm community resources, and do I remain on management and personnel, or do you want to switch me?
He's off of it.
I have you on community resources and policy review, Dr. Carhart. So.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
We're good.
So
Let's
Can we
do
get
it.
our-
can you read that and then
Okay.
somebody can motion it?
So what I have is on management personnel, Director Mounts and Director Irwin, with Director Mounts being the chair. Finance and budget, I have Director Irwin and Director Tamani, with Director Irwin being the chair. Capital, I have Director O'Farrell and Director Tamani. So Director Tamani would have to be the chair of that one. Community resources, Director Carhart, Director O'Farrell, with Director O'Farrell as the chair. And then policy review, Director Mounts and Director Carhart, with Director Carhart as the chair.
Would anybody like to make a motion for that?
I'll make a motion to approve the new committee assignments with respective chairs and other board members sitting.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Wonderful.
Aye.
Very good. Okay, well then we will move on to 9.4, receiving and filing reporting district's participation Regional Water Authority rebate program. We have a presentation.
Good evening, Board of Directors. Sean Ventura, Parks and Facilities Manager. Just a quick update on what this entails. It was just a receipt and file, so there's, again, no action on this. You may remember earlier this year, late last year, we participated in the same rebate program. We were reached out to once more this year and offered a very similar opportunity. We did identify Fair Oaks Park as the next most, really it was the largest park, so the most water usage and therefore the most significant reduction we see in our water usage. We did not originally come to you with seeking permission to join in on this, just because of the short window of time that this rebate program was available. Your approval to go for the rebate program the last time, and that we would be completely reimbursed for those funds. So all told, we're getting a rebate of $16,231.16 for new irrigation equipment at Fair Oaks Park. It's all ordered up and ready to go. The rebate check is being processed to us now, and we should see some really significant improvements over there as soon as we get them installed.
Sean, does that come from state water bond money that goes through the Regional Water Authority?
That is a really good question. I do not know.
You know?
the sorts of
Is that correct?
Yes.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's move on to 9.5, discussion possible action on approval of personnel policy updates for 2023.
Yes, thank you. My name is Jennifer Larkin. I'm the Administrative Services Manager for the district, and this is in regards to AB 1041, which was passed this fall, and it is defining family leave and who is eligible for family leave and who they can take time off for. Our personnel policy currently says leave to care for an immediate family member, and by law we're required to change it to leave to care for any blood relative or person with whom the employee has the equivalent of a family relationship. And so that is what I am here requesting we do to update the personnel policy manual for 2023.
So this is basically a requirement, so there really isn't, this will bring us in conformance with the state requirements, correct?
Correct.
The one question I had, and I think I can't tell if it's in here, I keep looking for it. Is this unpaid or paid?
This is a disability leave, so
Okay.
it's
It'll go
partially
through,
paid.
yeah. Okay. Any other questions from board? Great, is there any public comments that we have on this? Okay, wonderful, I'll entertain a motion.
I will make a motion that we approve the update to the personnel policy.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor?
I,
Wonderful. Okay, 9.6, discussion possible action on approval of revised salary schedules reflecting the wage increases January 1st, 2023.
Again, Jennifer Larkin, Administrative Services Manager, and this is our annual salary schedule approval for minimum wage increases, which you have been doing for several years now. For 2023, the minimum wage is $15.50 an hour. Currently, it's $15 an hour, so we need to update all of our entry-level positions that are paid a minimum wage to $15.50. And then for all of the rest of our part-time positions, we increase those at an equivalent percentage, which is 3.2%. And we did budget for that in our budget in August. However, we are getting to a point of compaction with some of our part-time positions and some of our entry-level full-time positions. And so this year we looked at increasing. We looked at increasing 3 of our full-time positions for the equivalent 3.2%. And those positions are the preschool teacher, the administrative assistant 2, and the recreation coordinator.
How did he unmute himself?
Sorry, Jennifer.
That's
Okay, great.
So the fiscal impact of the district is about $3,000 if we increase those 3 full-time positions. That was not included in the budget. However, there is money in savings that will cover that cost.
Any questions on that?
Oh, Ralph.
Ralph has a question.
We can let him.
have to unmute here. Am I heard?
You're good.
Okay, my question is, the 3,000 refers to the adjustments to reduce compaction of pay, right?
Yes.
And that part is the part that is not budgeted. The other part is. Okay, thank you. Are we ready for a motion to approve the?
Let me just ask for any public comment that we have on this. Great, okay, nothing. We are ready for a motion.
I would make a motion to approve the revised 2023 fiscal year salary schedule as shown on attachment A, effective as of January 1, 2023.
So moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Moving on then to our last item, discussion possible action on approval of the change order in the amount of $73,000 and $73,075 with Callo for design services.
Yeah, thank you, board. Mike Aho, district administrator here. This is for a change order for Cala for the work over at Village Plaza Park Community Clubhouse and the amphitheater area. Most of it's for Village Plaza Park and the surrounding area, since they are the architect for that. This project, as some of you are aware, and I've shared some of the challenges, it's a very challenging project. You can see in my staff report that there's been 10 change orders for Cala throughout this project. Some of them are actually shifting funds. The first one, change order, is shifting almost $50,000 from their contract over to WMB, who's doing the clubhouse and the amphitheater. So it's a little change in scope. So it was actually a positive change order for Cala. The rest of them are actually expenditure increases for the project from Cala. Some of the major challenges that we've seen, I'm not going to read every one of the change orders. I'll just hit the highlights here of some of our challenges. One is the right-of-way in front of the clubhouse. That had never been abandoned, and that process took a substantial amount of time, basically from the beginning of this project until about 8 months ago, before we finished that piece of it up. The bandshell wall was we had to get a new engineering report for that and a new design for it because of a fault that was discovered in the wall throughout the early phases of construction. We also were notified of some off-site ADA requirements, American with Disability requirements that we had. Those were for connecting sidewalks across from the park. So we had to work through those. Those were required by the county. And then we had the roadway around the park. First of all, our half of it, and then the second part of it, the entire roadway, as the county is entering into a cost share agreement with us for paving the entire roadway around the park. That includes curb, drainage, all those other types of things. You'll see some of the challenges with it if you went over there right now and looked at the new parking area that we're building directly across from the office. You'll see a gap between that parking area and the road of about 1.5 to 2 feet in elevation difference. That's a complete redesign of the road surface to eliminate that gap and get the drainage correct and things like that. The electric vehicle charging stations, which again are part of a grant that we wrote, and so we had to do all of those pieces for that, and there'll be some other work still with that one. And then we had to relocate a water line with Fair Oaks Water District, so we worked with that, and the Water District out there, great partners on that. SMUD, we're currently just got the design back today from them. That was for a power and redesigning of the power for the park and how all of the power in the park will come through the park and out of the park as needed. And so then with all of those items, those major items, there's all new designs and things like that. Interestingly enough, with the cost share from the county, I mentioned in my board report that it's a shared or it's a cost reimbursable from the county of $6,433. But reality is, and we just got the agreement back the other day, that the county will reimburse us $78,100, not just for design, but also for construction management, which is part of the design process for Cala and for our team. Some of that money will go to the construction management firm as well for their part of the management, but it doesn't go to construction. The overall agreement with the county is for a maximum of over $400,000 for that project. So, and $78,000 of it is for the design and the construction management of it. So, with all those change orders, the actual increase of the contracts, change orders and everything for Cala is $258,000. This one, $258,000, $250,000 in change orders for this project, and this one is for $73,075.50. It is a challenging project, and we are asking for permission to sign this change order to continue the work.
Mike, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
The additional reimbursement from the county for road design work, will that reduce the 258,000?
It's not going to go line item to line item, but we won't have, the county will give us that 78,000? Yeah, 78,000. The county will give us that money once the project is complete. And that money then can be credited back to the overall budget for the project. So is it 1-to-1? No, but it does reduce the actual project cost.
Yeah. Well, I note that the change orders were almost 50% of the original contract. I'm going to have to go back out of retirement and get back into landscape architecture. But hey, Cala has done a wonderful job for us. I think I'm impressed with the way they handled the project. So I don't have a problem here.
So with all of this stuff, just looking back and with our project management and all of that, is there anything that we could have foreseen when it comes to the bid that they gave us versus it being over 45% more now than what they gave us? And anything that they should have done more to prepare for a more accurate number?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure. This isn't my area of expertise in terms of design and being able to see these types of problems before they arise. For example, let's just go to the ADA, which seems like a relatively simple one. We did not anticipate, the county came back to us and said we had to do 3 intersections, ended up doing 2 only. So at the end of the day, but that piece maybe, if you look at it, would that have been something possible? So the road, that's a plus actually for us. It wasn't a negative. All the road work that we have to do, the abandonment of the right of way, that didn't come up until we got into design. So the water line relocation was a thing that happened because of the water, or because of the abandonment of the right of way. And that was a pretty solid project. It was easy to do for the most part, but it wasn't something that we had anticipated early on to have to move the water line. So in the long term, it made sense for farmers. So yeah, I think the ADA one is about the only one I would say, hey, maybe that should have been anticipated, in my view. Now, again, this isn't my expertise, so I could very well be missing a few or not.
How did we miss the elevation change from the road to the curb?
We didn't miss it. It was just part of the design. I mean, it hasn't been missed. It was just when that became recognized that we had to do the road, the elevation change is part of the design. That's already been part of the design. So it is part of the design, but it was not anticipated for us to be doing the road work like that. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Mike, how much of the contingency has already been used, and how much is left?
I can't answer that directly.
Because we didn't build, if I recall correct, or I don't recall if each individual contract has a contingency built into it, or we just did it over the entire project. I thought it was the whole project that it's
Correct. It is for the whole project, and I'm going to be able to give you a current figure on that because we just got one Thursday. So pull that up real quick.
While you're doing that, I'll just ask if there's anyone in person or online that has any public comment they wish to speak. Do you have anybody? Okay,
I'll have to get that, but we get a notice on it.
Mike, has this been reviewed or will be reviewed with the Bond Oversight Committee?
No, they, from an operational side, this is outside their purview, so it's all board. But it has been reviewed by our construction management firm. They agree that the work is necessary for completion of the project.
Do they have it? Did they give any insight as far as if that should have been something anticipated by?
No, I did not get that from them.
Is that something you can ask them?
I can.
In general, it would be great
Yeah.
if you can ask them regarding all the change orders.
Yes. Yeah, they see this more than I do.
Right.
Yeah. So that's a good for us. That's a good resource for us. I'm just trying to find the.
Mike, if I could, I believe at our last agenda, we have an approved expended amount on our contingency of 1.8 million of $238,000 $238,077.
So about 20%. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that. Sounds correct. Yeah, and then we're in a phase right now, we were in a phase, we're getting out of it, of underground, which is where a lot of unknowns are, so everybody's feeling pretty comfortable about where we're at with that use of the funds at this point in time. Can't guarantee it's gonna stay there, but I can say right now, we're breathing a little easier.
Where would we say we are as far as percentage of project completion?
5% completed work. So we are at about 5%, it looks like.
On the actual construction?
Yeah, the full project.
Full project including permits and all that, really?
But that's actually money spent, excuse me, that's money spent, sorry. Am I reading this right? 5% completed. Oh, that's retained, sorry.
I don't need the answer now, but I would like to know as far as the whole project, as far as everything we've done in the process, where are we at?
Okay.
For completion? Are we at 5%, 10%? And honestly, I think that'd be something I'd at least like to know regularly on a monthly basis in your board report. I would like to know, we would like to know where we are. And same with contingency, it would be good to know.
Well, I mean, I get questions all the time from my friends. When is it going to be done? What's going on? I said, the biggest part of this right now is taking care of all the underground stuff. And every time you put a spade in the ground, you find something else that you didn't know about.
Yeah, it's a great point. And we found 2 sewer lines that were not anywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Is the target date still December of 23?
As of now, we're still December 2023. It's good.
Okay, board, do we have a motion or any further discussion?
I would just note that I'm looking at all the change orders. We were aware as this was going on, there was a lot of redundant reviews by various agencies and plan changes and things like that. I just recall that as we were going along, and I believe Cala had to address those for us. We couldn't do it ourselves, so it seems pretty legitimate to me. I could make a motion to authorize Mike to sign or approve the Cala change order for $73,075.50 and for the additional professional services and design work associated with Village Plaza Park and facilities renovation.
I'll second the motion.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Wonderful.
Aye.
We will keep this project moving along.
There we go.
Okay, next let's move on to board staff reports. Start with board of directors, going from right to left. Director Toman, anything?
Nothing for me.
Okay, Director Mounts.
I'm good. I'm good also. I'm just curious, is the tree lighting, was it wet?
It was very wet. It was very cold. Most of the people left. It was very sad. But it was beautiful. Our tree looks gorgeous.
We were prepared to go, but we couldn't find umbrellas.
Can FOIAP do that, provide umbrellas next time?
I showed up to hear the Bella Vista Band and to hear Raymond James sing. And I, along with everybody else, looked like drowned rats out there. The only question I had, I assume that some of those vendors out there will have their fees reimbursed.
I think, is Nick on?
Yes.
I believe that's correct. I'm not sure what level.
Good evening, board directors. Nick Davis, Recreation Manager. I was going to touch on the tree lighting here in my staff update. The vendors, we are going to do what we can to make them happy, and we'll be addressing that. We've already been kind of working with each individual vendor individually. So yes, we are going to be making sure that they are happy, because we do realize the weather impacted their potential sales.
Thank you. I visited a lot of them while I was out there, and they were happy to see anybody show up at their booth, but I thanked them for being out there, and everybody really didn't get much attention at their booths. Thank you, Nick.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, I think I'll just say the tree lighting was beautiful. There were people still out there much earlier, I think, in the day than at that time, because there was, it was raining on and off. The tree looks beautiful. People haven't seen it in Fair Oaks Park. Definitely go see it. And great job to the staff, the team, FOIAB, everybody that had a hand in that, in all that wetness. They really still pulled it off incredibly well. Director Scanning was there too. It was great to see her. That's all I have, so.
And I'll add into the little bit about the Christmas one. I know Nick may have a little bit more about it. He's on my notes here for an update. But I'll add a real quick thing is, one, we had the staff had an amazing positive attitude that they carried through that entire day.
I know you can't speak.
And I really appreciate that they had that attitude into the event as best as it could. So I just want to say thank you to the staff for that positive attitude and their energy throughout a very trying day. Great. And then Nick, did you have anything else?
Sorry. Yeah, no, I was going to touch on that as well. Staff was definitely cold and wet. They were there for a very long duration into the evening, cleaning up and all. And yeah, staff just had an amazing positive attitude. Couldn't ask anything more of them to put that event on because, yeah, the weather did not do us any justice that day. But I do want to thank Director Irwin for coming out and singing and, doing the countdown for tree lighting. All in all, it was a great event for what it was with the weather. So thank you all.
And I think, Ian, you had something?
Hi, my name is Ian Roberts. I am an admin assistant 2 with the district. Just wanted to give a little bit of an update on our sound equipment and things that are in the clubhouse. So with the big project, we are getting new sound equipment, AV equipment, and we are left with a lot of leftover used equipment, which still functions perfectly well. So we have been in contact with the VFW through Rotary, and so we're going to be donating the clubhouse sound equipment to the VFW over in Phoenix Park. And Rotary is going to help install that into their facility because, again, that equipment works perfectly well. We're just getting updated equipment and new abilities to host events and presentations in the clubhouse.
So, yeah. Great. And I wanted to thank Director Carhart for kind of helping spearhead that transfer of equipment. He did a great job in saying, hey, how about the Rotary? How about VFW for that equipment? And with that kind of encouragement, we're able to do that.
I think that's really great. Great. Awesome. Thank you.
Both organizations much appreciated it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ian.
Yep.
And Mike, for the record, I believe that equipment is probably depreciated out to zero, so there's no value, so there's no gift of public funds, correct?
Exactly right. Exactly right. Yes, we gifted one of our public funded items, the television, to a break-in. One of our zero value things that was taken before we could get it off the wall.
Somebody broke in where?
Into the clubhouse during construction. So, but that's the only thing that took was the TV, which we didn't have any use for. So hopefully they get good use out of it.
What kind of security do we have?
We have cameras in there, and the cameras did go off, and we were there. I was there probably 15 minutes after the alarm sounded, and we had a whole crew there, and we had a sheriff there and everything, but it was gone.
How did they break in?
I really don't want to disclose it. They're hard to secure when it's under construction.
Anything else from staff?
If I could add one other thing, and I'll be very quick. I just wanted to give you all a heads up that the long-awaited shade structure program that we're installing over at Phoenix Park is beginning on the 19th of this month. Should hopefully take less than a week to do the install. So finally seeing some movement on it, and we should be closing it out before the end of the year.
Right. Good. Okay, awesome, wonderful. Well then,
I'm sorry, Danielle, did you have anything? I didn't have you on my list.
Okay, then I will entertain a motion to adjourn to our regular meeting of January 18th.
Oh, were there going to be board items at all?
Ralph, I thought you were you gave your item and what you were saying, but yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I just wanted to mention to staff, I guess I could have done this some other time. Visiting Gum Ranch Park, there are some split oak trees that could potentially injure somebody. So maybe park staff can go look at those.
Yeah,
Looks like they're aware.
Yeah, they've already been identified and we're making plans to remove those.
I'm guessing we have some sort of damage.
They're making plans to remove them, Ralph. You couldn't hear.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn to the regular meeting of January 18, 2023.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you,
Happy
Ralph.
holidays,
Merry
everyone. And now you get, I know you get